Magnificent. So yeah, this is Juniper, great horned owl. This is actually the largest owl you can find here in the southeast, and the third largest owl you can find throughout North America. And as a result of that large size, she's pretty much the apex predator when it comes to hunting at night. Now what's unique about great horned owls is they're named so for those large horn-like structures on the top of her head. However, those are not actual horns. She does not headbutt her prey, and so a lot of people also think that those happen to be her ears, which they're not. They're specialized feathers called plumicorns, which she uses to break up her silhouette out in the wild. So she can make herself look like a tree branch, or make herself, by perching those feather tufts at the top of her head, or she can slick them across the back of her head to make herself look like a stump. Because as she's sitting in that post right behind you guys, all she really needs to do is turn her head around or close her eyes, and she kind of blends in with the trees around her. So these birds, they do not rely on powered flight to take down their prey. They rely on stealth. So I want you guys to pay close attention when Juniper makes her next flight. Because while most birds, like the hawks, rely on powered flight to chase down their prey, owls try to ambush them, rely on stealth. Didn't make a lot of noise when she was passing by, did she? No, the reason for that is she's got these soft, flexible feathers. She looks a lot more fluffy compared to Autumn. Now, she's not trying to be extra cute for us. That's just something that we personified when we see owls. However, she has these soft, dense, flexible feathers to help muffle sound as she's flying by. On top of that, her feathers have a serrated edge to them, so air flows through the feathers instead of over and under the wing, and this cuts down on sound immensely. As a result, she can fly almost perfectly silently. And the reason for that is these birds, they like to hunt rodents. Rodents have large, powerful ears to help them detect predators. So, she's basically bypassing that rodent's hearing so she can sneak up on them. For those of you who hopefully didn't bring your hamster to the program this afternoon, when you guys go back home, I want you guys to turn it loose. I want you to blindfold yourselves and then try to catch that hamster in your feet based on the noise of it running across the floor. It's probably not going to end up too well for you guys, but owls do this on a nightly basis because even though she does have incredible eyesight, she also has incredibly keen hearing. You guys might notice a dark ring of feathers around her face. They form what's called a facial disc, so they actually amplify the sound coming from her environment. On top of that, she has what's called asymmetrical ears. So she has these small openings located just behind her eyes. One of them is actually higher than the other, and that difference in height cuts down on sound. That difference in height allows her to better pinpoint the sound of where her prey might be coming from. For all of you who are in the front row, she can faintly hear your individual heartbeats, and for the rest of the auditorium, she can hear everyone's individual breathing. Now, some of you don't seem very impressed, but picture that from a mouse's perspective. This is a living nightmare come to life. Now, while owls do have a lot of amazing adaptations to sneak up on their prey, she's not going to be successful 100% of the time. In fact, some of her prey have developed strategies to try and deter her. Here in the southeast, we have the skunk. We actually have two species. We have the striped skunk, which is a pretty large animal, but we also have the spotted skunk. Now, most of us probably know what skunks do when they're trying to defend themselves. They release this nasty, odorous musk from behind them. The striped skunk spray directly behind them because usually their predators try to ambush them from behind. The spotted skunk, because it's a little bit smaller, will actually stand up on its front legs and spray straight up into the air. The reason for that is the great horned owl is one of its most common predators, and owls ambush from above. So the prey has learned to spray directly into the air to try and deter any predators. Now, like I said, Juniper is not going to be able to smell that musk, but if her feathers get too damp or tangled in that musk, she's going to have a hard time being able to fly. She weighs roughly 3, maybe 4 pounds on a good day. So these birds have to be incredibly light in order to fly. So basically, if you guys were to take her entire skeleton and then all of her feathers and make them in 2 separate piles, the pile of feathers would actually weigh more, slightly more, than the pile of her bones. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting characteristic about owls and birds in general. They have these hollow bones that enable them to fly. Basically, these birds, like I said, if you're too heavy, you're going to have a hard time carrying off your prey. Now, one